What if I told you that humanity's future depends on a spaceship so massive? It carries an entire city inside it, and that no one who boards it will ever return to Earth. And here is the spoiler. The people who reach the destination won't even remember our planet as home. Imagine standing before a spacecraft longer than an entire city skyline. Not a rocket, not a space station, but a 58-kilometer-long artificial world drifting silently through the darkness of space. Inside it exist hospitals, schools, libraries, farms, forests, factories, parks, and millions of memories waiting to be born. This is not science fiction fantasy. This is a real theoretical concept known as the Chrysalis Generation Ship, the most ambitious survival plan humanity has ever imagined. Its mission is simple, terrifying, and irreversible. Abandon Earth forever and carry human civilization to a new home, Proxima b, the closest potentially habitable planet beyond our solar system. Earth is the world that gave us life, culture, and history. Every language, every story, every civilization was born here. But now, slowly and silently, Earth is turning against us. Exploding population growth is draining resources faster than they can recover. Global warming is melting polar ice, raising sea levels, drowning coastlines, destroying forests, and poisoning the air. Scientists warn that within the next 100 to 150 years, Earth could become dangerously difficult to live on. If humanity wants to survive long-term, the nearest possible refuge lies far beyond our solar system. Proxima b, a rocky planet orbiting the red dwarf star, Proxima Centauri, sits 4.24 light-years away, about 41 trillion kilometers from Earth. It exists within the star's habitable zone, meaning liquid water could exist there. Its size and gravity are believed to be similar to Earth's. On paper, it is the most promising second home humanity has ever found, but distance is the enemy. Even our fastest spacecraft would take thousands of years to reach it. No single human lifetime could survive that journey. And that's when scientists reached a chilling realization. One generation cannot make the trip many generations must. That realization gave birth to the Chrysalis Generation Ship. This ship is not designed to carry travelers. It is designed to carry descendants. Entire generations will be born, live full lives, and die inside it. Children will grow up never seeing Earth, knowing it only through stories, pictures, and ancient recordings. Only the fourth or fifth generation would finally arrive at Proxima b. This would not be transportation. This would be a moving civilization, a drifting planet. The chrysalis would be assembled in space at Lagrange Point 1, a stable gravitational location between Earth and the Sun. Construction would take roughly 25 years, using materials mined from Earth and the Moon. When completed, the ship would weigh 2.4 billion tons, making it hundreds of thousands of times heavier than any spacecraft ever built. Its structure would be divided into 3 massive sections: a rear fusion engine to accelerate the ship, a central habitat where humans live, and a front engine used to slow the ship down as it approaches its destination centuries later. Inside the habitat module, the greatest challenge, gravity, will be solved by rotation. As the structure spins, centrifugal force would simulate Earth-like gravity, preventing muscle loss, bone decay, and organ failure. Without artificial gravity, long-term survival would be impossible. Inside this rotating world would be farms using hydroponic and aeroponic systems, hospitals and research labs, schools and universities, parks, forests, community halls, and a massive observation dome where people could stare into the endless darkness of space. Advanced AI systems would manage oxygen, food, water, energy, population balance, and governance, maintaining stability across centuries. Propulsion would come from direct fusion drive technology, slowly accelerating the ship until it reached speeds of nearly 3,000 kilometers per second. Even at that unimaginable velocity, the journey would take close to 400 years. The first generation would know the truth. They would never see the destination. They would die between stars. Their children would grow up hearing Earth described like a myth. Their grandchildren would believe the ship itself is the universe. And finally, centuries later, a generation would be born that would watch a new star slowly grow brighter in the sky. But technology is not the greatest threat to this mission. The human mind is. Endless isolation, confinement, and eternal darkness outside the ship could lead to depression, rebellion, or societal collapse. Population would require strict control, too few people, and civilization collapses. Too many and resources fail. Knowledge must be perfectly preserved or humanity could regress technologically. Governance would blend human decision-making with AI oversight to prevent chaos. This mission would not just test engineering, it would test psychology, morality, and social balance across centuries. Before launch, the first pioneers would train for years in Antarctica, one of the most isolated and extreme environments on Earth. There, they would learn how to survive confinement, limited resources, and psychological pressure training meant not just for them, but for every generation that would follow. Centuries later, as the ship neared Proxima b, the final phase would begin. The rear engine would detach. The front engine would slowly decelerate the ship over an entire year. Eventually, only the habitat module would remain, entering orbit around an alien world. Small shuttles would descend to the surface. Humans would step onto another planet for the first time in history. The first settlement would be named Dawn Base, symbolizing humanity's second beginning. Life would be harsh. Proxima b orbits a violent red dwarf star that releases deadly radiation flares. The atmosphere would be toxic. Gravity would be stronger. Days could last for months. Colonies would be built underground, shielded by magnetic fields, powered by nuclear reactors and solar arrays. Oxygen and water would be artificially generated. Farming would rely on genetically modified crops. Communication with Earth would take 8 years per message, assuming Earth still existed at all. Over time, humans would adapt. Through technology, AI governance, robotics, and eventually genetic modification, future generations would evolve to survive their new world. One day, a child would be born on Proxima b, the first human native to another planet. For that child, Earth would not be home. It would be ancient history. Generations later, humans on Proxima b might no longer even see themselves as Earthlings. Their bodies, genetics, and identities could change. Humanity would split not into nations, but into worlds. Civilization would no longer be planetary. It would be cosmic. And when the lights of Dawn Base shine across the alien surface of Proxima b, it won't just mark survival. It will mark the moment humanity proves it was never meant to belong to only one world. But here is the final question. After a 400-year journey, what if Proxima b turns out to be uninhabitable after all? What then? Tell us what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this story, like and share the video. Thank you for watching.